Hey everyone, we're LDG. I'm Brooks.
And I'm Lizzy.
We are joined by ION Manker of ION Games. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much, ION.
Welcome. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so ION just sat down with Liz to do an awesome two-player game of Stationfall. How was that, Liz? You were pretty aggressive.
I think I was very direct with it. Knowing some of the intricacies more, I think I would play a little bit more sly. So that way it wouldn't be super obvious that I was the engineer and the imp. Or chimp, not imp.
The imp. Chimp.
ION, there are quite a few, like 27 different characters in this, right? Do you have any that are your favorites, personally?
Oh, well, it kind of changed during development, but I think Daredevil has been one of them for the whole time. I also like the station chief, kind of, but although she only wants people to survive, so it might be a little less fun in a way. But it's usually so much mayhem going on, so it's an interesting and somewhat unexpected challenge sometimes for someone trying to make people to survive. And then I do like I like and hate the telepathic rat. But it's a cool thing because with that telepathic rat, the telepathic rat is actually believes it is a cult leader. And the goal of the telepathic rat is to have as many humans in the same section as them at the end of the game, downed and dead, preferably by fire.
Oh.
So you want to collect a bunch of people in a room, firebomb them, and then be there with them as they are burning. And
that's sadistic, and I love it.
Amazing.
You get no bonus point if you also have the alien artifact there as some kind of thing of worship, or I don't know. So that's it's a crazy thing. And the telepathic rat is also one of those little special characters which is out of the ordinary. So it's not a character per se, it's an item. So it can't move, but instead it has to be carried around, and you can telepathically, when you activate it, you don't do anything with that one, but you can do actions with any character in the same room.
Oh.
And those actions can be suicidal. So you can, for example, go into the chem lab with a character that have a character carrying the rat to the chem lab, and then have that character shoot themselves in the head and down themselves because it's a suicidal thing. And if you shoot something in the chem lab, the whole thing goes into fire. So any other characters there is also down. I mean, it's a mayhem character, and
I just have a picture of like the chimp with the rat, and they're just causing chaos.
The chimp was pretty cool this time. Like, he was pretty chill.
You were gonna blow the place up. Don't act like you
I
weren't.
mean, yeah, with the engineer, the chimp was gonna go back to the exit.
No, the chimp was just going to. The chimp was the only one acting in this game normally, in calm manner, going to an escape pod and sitting down and waiting.
Exactly, because he's very intelligent.
Yeah, obviously.
So, it's actually on Kickstarter until the 14th of May, correct?
Yes.
Or 16. I don't know. Yeah. Well,
11 days. Math is hard. I
until
use
May
my fingers.
16th.
Yeah.
Fantastic. It's doing really well, as you can see.
Yeah. It's especially it's going well. We had a good start, and then, but in particular, we have had a very good continuing couple of days because Kickstarter tend to plateau, and that just not much happens for 2 weeks, and then it gets a little boost in the end. But if we were to look at the graph of this one, it's unusually still going, at a good steady speed upwards. So that we're very happy about that.
I just think you have to look back at the pedigree, especially recently, of what ION Games has been doing. I know we covered Dawn on Titan with you all, and the components are great. The gameplay is really thought through. I think you guys are really putting out some great stuff and unique. If you look at this, you can see it's very different than anything I've ever seen.
Which is part of why I was like, oh my god, I can't wait to play it.
Yeah.
Which is why we were so drawn to it. What made you guys come up with this kind of all of these different strategies put into this one game? What made you come up with this?
Yeah, well, I should really. I mean, the designer of this game is Matt Eklund.
Yep.
So he had a game that was pretty much. I mean, when we looked at it and felt this is great, and we talked to him, and we also we published his previous game called Pax Transhumanity. So we talked with him about this one, and we thought it was an excellent game and wanted to publish it. So it was pretty much done. But you know, when you start doing the final things on something, it tweaks quite a bit. So many small things has tweaked in the game.
The previous iteration was set in a castle, right?
There have been. There was an inspiration for this. I don't think that is how. Oh well, anyways, it wasn't a big publishing thing, I think. But it's been, yes, the idea was there, set in a castle, and Matt wanted this to be in the future, so you can more make sense thematically of why this conspiracy, the characters that you choose, can coordinate their actions so well. And thus he put it in the space station. But there is the mechanics are there. I mean, that you have certain actions for characters, and you have a secret goal and so forth. But very much is different, and the special things you do is all the details of all the characters is, I would say, unique for Stationfall. So yeah, and the idea, I mean, the idea behind it, you should really interview Matt at some point to talk to him about the ideas behind where they came from. But when we developed this game now, we wanted to, emphasize the crazy fun part of it and the creativity that you can have when you do actions in it, and try to bring that forward where we could, and also streamline some of the character and so forth. But it's and then we also want to have a great variety of things, both when it comes to, I mean, how we portray them, that there is a variety of characters of different, any kind of, different genders, different backgrounds. And
I was going to say, Liz was just going to jump on and ask you about that. That's one of our favorite things about your guys' games recently.
Dawn on Titan, and now this.
Yeah, there seems to be a great diversity in your characters, which is amazing, and thank you for that.
Well, yeah, sure, and it's. I think it's to us, it's a given thing to do. Why shouldn't you do it? You can at any point do it in a game, because it doesn't tamper with logics, it doesn't tamper with mechanics, and games can be broken, and that's a unique thing for games as an art form. They can break and doesn't work anymore. But if you choose to include a variety of characters and backgrounds and all of these diversity thing, doesn't have anything to do with the mechanics. You can always do it in games, so why don't do it?
We actually, from our first conversation with you, we use something you specifically said during our first conversation as kind of our keystone of what developers and designers should be. You said specifically to us when we asked you, you said it's just as easy to make it diverse as it is to not make it diverse. So why wouldn't you always just make it diverse? Right. Yeah. That's a point of view that every designer should have, because you may not realize it, but it's
like something I said. I don't remember saying it, but
you did. You said that to us during it. We didn't record it because we had audio issues. But
I stand by that. That's kind of what I said right now. So I'm repeating myself. But it's yes,
it's endlessly important to people to see themselves in their passion. So we always harp on that. And we think it's great that you guys represent that. So
yes,
yeah,
and I think it's very important to have. For the experience, to have something that you can relate to in the game. It doesn't mean that you need to play that, but just that things you relate to is part of the game universe, so to speak.
Exactly.
And that means so much to us. So again, thank you for that. And then in terms of, how Stationfall feels kind of different, I was also looking at the Kickstarter itself, and I noticed something kind of cool and different in the sense that you're not doing stretch goals and decided to do something called, what is it? Backer. Yes, backer impacts. And I was wondering if you could maybe talk about the decision to go with that this time around.
Absolutely. So we've done it one time before on the with Bias, Mesofauna, and Galenus, and we think it kind of the background is. I mean, stretch goals are great for. I don't want to say something bad about them really, but there is a problem with having stretch goals. If you split them in two different categories, roughly, it would be to add content, or it could be to add quality to the game. And the logic behind it is if you get much more money, you can make a greater looking or more quality product. So I think quality stretch goals is a bit problematic because we really want to do great quality. We put a lot of effort in making our games of high quality. And we're proud that we get a lot of very positive feedback on that for games, High Frontier, Pax Viking, and so forth. And all of them really, we're using the top-notch material, top-notch manufacturers. And we really don't want to, if we don't meet the stretch goals, do we want to put out a game which has low quality? No, we don't want that. So we have a little problem with the quality thing. Sometimes you could add things in there which is not, it's not worse to have one or the other, and then you can maybe go for a stretch goal where you have a thicker player board. But anyways, it's sometimes feels a bit what's the name of that? Artificial. But as I say, I don't want to say any disrespectful about stretch goals. If people find a good way of using them, do it. The other one being to add content. That's easier or more. That could really be done in a good way. We did that for Pax Viking, for example. Pax Viking is a game where you have 220 tiles. It was 205 or something, and then we added tiles in stretch goals. And the game doesn't make or break. It just gives you more variety. So adding content in that situation is logical and seems fair. We can't really add content to Stationfall because to add one more character requires a lot of testing. We plan to do so. We plan to have expansions with more characters and other things. But it's a bigger thing to add, which will make the game balance shift so much. So we want this to be a nice, contained, balanced product from start, and then and there's not much other things that we could add really. The items are items which it's so much level design gone into the station as it is, and to add a completely new station is a giant thing, which might be an add-on in the future. But yeah,
there's already so much variety in the box that you're providing anyway, so it doesn't really need more at the moment.
Exactly.
So instead, we decided for this concept called Backer Impact and used that once before with quite successful feedback from backers. And so we're doing it now as well. And as a Backer Impact, we just, when we reply to all the comments, or if people specifically say so, we take their suggestion as Backer Impacts, and then the backers are the one deciding the kind of stretch goals. Because if something comes up and people that is an impact and we can do it, we do it. If we can't do it, and sometimes we say, all right, that's a great suggestion. It's a backer impact. We talk to the designer, we talked internally, and we feel this is not really a good fit. But if we can do it, we include it now. Such as one backer impact was people wanted an add-on where they can buy the more copies of the journal or the dossier of the characters. So we decided to talk to the manufacturer and figure out how that could be done, and it works. So it's going to be an add-on now, and that's a backer impact. And it could have been a stretch goal, but I don't think I would have come up with it. So it's better that the backers come up with these things, and we try to make what they suggest, so to speak.
That's fantastic because it shows you're listening to your audience and you really care about input, and I think that's great. Well, it's an incredibly solid game. I'll tell you that. We're very excited for it. And Liz is going to probably blow everything up the first time we play it.
Over and over again.
Maybe I'll be one that wants it to be intact. Who knows?
Yeah.
I'm sure. But regardless, it was a pleasure to have you again, Yoon. Thank you so much for bearing with our technical issues in the beginning.
Well, now it's worked smoothly once we got it running.
Exactly. And now we know a little bit more. So next time will be even better.
Do next time.
Yeah, sure. And now you also have the link to the tabletop simulator thing, so you can fire it up and play it yourself and so forth.
Exactly.
Oh, definitely.
Well, thanks so much, Yoon. We cannot wait to get this to our table and to see what else comes out on the backer stretch goals.
Yeah.
See what you come up with.
Excellent.
You check out that Kickstarter.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
looks like it's going to be amazing.
Very cool. Well, thanks so much. Again,
Thank
we
you.
are LDG. We're lucky enough to have Jon Manker with ION Games with us. And that's it for this.
So just remember, until next time, have fun.
Have fun. Be present.
And be you. Thank you all for watching. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to reach out to us. We would love to hear from you. Also, if you find value in our content, please like, comment, and subscribe. Let a family or friend member know that we exist. Help us spread our channel and bring remote gaming to a table near you. Thank you very much, and have a great day.